Some gods. Minstrel.
Islam,
Islam,
Islamism. I am Dr. Saraya Rehum Musa Pretabulu Bey. Dr. Musa Bey will suffice. And welcome to the We Are, a microcosm of the macrocosmic universe Zoom class. Arise, giving praise to the Almighty God Allah, Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the forerunner Marcus Mosiah Garvey, our Moorish American theocratic government, the Maryland Consulate, all of my Moorish kin, everything that is Moorish, all the youth and yet born. I say peace, love, and gratitude. I will start off with the reading of our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Ameen.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, everyone. I'm Terrell Freemanell of the Maryland Consulate, rising and giving praise to the great God, Allah, Father of the universe. And highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. I want to give high honors to our Moorish American theocratic government and the indigenous nation of Moorish America. I want to give high honors to all officials and all citizens of Moorish American government. I want to give high honors to all consulates of the Moorish American government. I want to give high honors to all of our children, all of our participants, and everything that is Moorish, Islam, salvation, our God, unity, the divine constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God alone. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is put in danger or accused falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and the divine freedom, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865. This is a new era of time, and all men now proclaiming a free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Durali the prophet to redeem his people from the sinful worlds. Americans are the descendants of the ancient Mormons who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues, keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting fallen community. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds filled with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish. Now, for the law, Islam, Islamism.
Islam. Once again, I rise in praise to the great God of Allah, honor to the prophets, honor to the last prophet of these days and time, Prophet Ali. And give honor to the Royal Council of the Moorish American government, all the officials, all the citizens. Give honor where honor is due. Give honor to all of you. Give honor to this Maryland Council Zoom meeting and everyone in attendance. Islam. Chapter 1, Creation and Fall of Man. Time never was when man was not. The life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject to change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. Bodies and souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yea, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. A man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Creative faith gave to man, spirit man, a soul, that he might function on the plane of soul. Gave him a body of flesh, that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. Why did creative faith give spirit man a soul, that he might function on the plane of soul? Why did creative faith give the soul the body of flesh, that he may function on the plane of things that are made manifest? Here now, ye cherubim, ye seraph, the angels, and ye men. Hear now, O fertile and earth, and plant, and beast. Hear now, the creeping things of earth, and fish that swim, and birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, the thunders and the lightnings of the sky. Hear now, the spirits of fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore to be. For wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spirit. Man is the thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time. For the things that are concerned with time begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come. And so is man, spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself the potency of Allah. Just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that special plant. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now, seeds are perfect. Yea, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in his soul that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was foreordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth his human seed into the soul of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul. And he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of the soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slow rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifested. The perfumes and the odors and the true sensations and the all of love manifest. And these soul attributes became a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons, man must learn upon the plane of soul, and here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundary of the plane of soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still, and then the essence took on a final God. The perfumes and odors and the true sensations and the all of love were clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life, and so carnal was full manifested, a nature that sprang forth from fleshy things. Without a soul, soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the planes of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast. But he gave of his birthright just to gratify his lower self. The man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and cherubim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah who ruled the solar stars are his protectors and his guides, and they will lead to victory. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his God of flesh will then have served its purpose well, and it will fall, will be no more. Then he will stand untroubled on the plane of soul where he must full complete his victory. Unnumbered foes will stand before man upon the plane of soul. These he must overcome, yea, overcome every one. Thus hope will ever be his beacon light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah's leading on and victory is sure. Man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah, and while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have full open out. We have unfolded into the Holy One. The garb of soul will then have served this purpose well, and man will need it no more, and it will pass and be no more, and man will then obtain unto blessedness of perfectedness and at one with Allah. Islam, peace and love.
Islamism. Gratitude for everyone who has opened this meeting according to law. Again, I am Dr. Musa Bey. Praise all to the great God Allah, His Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and the forerunner Marcus Messiah Garvey. High honors. This is the We Are a Microcosm of the Macrocosmic Universe Zoom class. hosted by student minister Nicole Williams El-Bey, Maryland Consulate, North American Government. The title is The Principle of Vibration. The objective, to continue our open-minded discussion about the principle of vibration. The master words of study to be defined are vibration, motion, matter, energy, frequency, and programming. The resources, Senior Counselor General Anwar Ali El just read from the Holy Quran of North America, Circle 7, Chapter 1, The Creation and Fall of Man. We will have a reading from the Kabbalion, Chapter 9, pages 65 through 69. And we will have videos that we will show. For education purposes only, we do not own the rights to these videos. One video is entitled, How I Raise My Vibration Fast and Get into Alignment with My Manifestations. Law of Attraction is the second title. Third title is Principle of Vibration. I would like to speak with the goddess Nicole Williams El-Bey. Islam, would you like to play your meditation?
Yes, we can play the meditation now.
Gratitude.
Islam. Peace and love. I just wanted to vibrate a little bit tonight. I was sitting here wondering why my singing bowls started to sound the same. So I kept switching them to different areas and purchased a microphone and just different things, but it wasn't giving me the vibration that I expected. So I decided to sit with myself and think about it. And what came to me was, it's time for you to use your voice. It's not the bowls, it's you. So I started to think about it. So I decided I was going to use my voice more and speak up more, because that is really the problem in our society today, that the people that think different from others feel the need to not speak so much because, other people, they believe, or I won't say believe, I would say they feel their knowing is something different, which that could be possible. But the point is to have an understanding of self. Understand who you really are. I have always been shied away from when people say that they are offended when they hear that we are melanated beings, are 3/5 of a human. But my thought always was, okay, well, what else am I? If I'm just 3/5 human, what else am I? And I started to explore that and understand that that is what my knowing is today. Because y'all love to just go all weird with stuff. But my knowing as of today is that that is my spiritual self, or whatever you guys are calling it this week. But my highest self. And I am allowing that, or in the past I have allowed the 1%, which is the 3/5, to control the other 99% of me. So I began to understand what it is, that I was feeling. Because I thought about it, but I didn't really have a real full understanding of what that meant to me exactly. Until I just asked myself. It was just as simple as that. Just asking and receiving the answer, no matter what it sounds like. Just receiving it and getting an understanding of it. And I think that is our issue as a people. We are stuck in our human self, and we are so much more than that. And we don't realize it because, of the fear of the unknown. We don't know who we are, truly. And that is the fear. Because the 1%, that small human percent of us, we want everything to be about this human form, and it is not. It is not. That's only a small portion of who we really are. Small portion. So we have to get to work on understanding what that means to us on an individual level, if anything, because I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. This is my knowing at this point. It's just that we are so stuck in this experience that we're not realizing who we really are. We think we're insulted. That's an insult. Like they said, that's because that's all they are human. That's the difference. That is the difference. And we need to understand that difference so that we can get a real understanding of what's going on. They always trip us up in the language, the things they say. All these words, they mean so many different things, right? But we are stuck in just knowing just what it means in one way. Or the first thing that we see pop up on Google, oh yeah, we going with that. We're not going to go to page number 3 because we don't have time, right? We don't have like another 30 seconds. We just take the first thing and go with that. But a lot of the times, ask yourself what does it mean to you? And sometimes your definition is not on the internet. And that's okay. And then I was thinking about the chakras. The 7, the first 7, I would say. Or I ain't going to say the first 7. I want to say the 7 that we are so focused on? What if those 7 is keeping us from our higher self? Because we are staying, because if you think about it, all those are basically, in your human form, the way they are situated according to pictures. So the focus is to go beyond that. And I think that's the issue that a lot of us, we are having. We are just staying in one vibration. We are not choosing to go to the next because of fear. Right? So we're not raising our vibration to where we can understand why we have been living the way we have been living. To just get an understanding on that. Why? And then work from that to work on the rest of you. The true essence of who you are. But we're so stuck in this human experience that's all we see. But it's more to us than that. And that is something that we need to realize. Are we afraid that we don't know? Or do we know and we are afraid? It's a question and it's a conversation to be had at a later time. But I just wanted to share some of my views. Islam. Are we ready to go to our master words of study?
Islam, sister, you can.
I am Nicole Williams El-Bey of the Maryland Consulate. I rise giving praise to the great God of the universe. High honors to our ancestors. High honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. High honors to all the Moors here, there, and everywhere. For our master words of study, we have vibration, motion, matter, energy, frequency, and program. Do I have any Moors with their measure for vibration? Islam.
Islam. Islam, Islam, Islam. I'm Terrell Freemanell of the Maryland Consulate. Praise and honors reiterated. For vibration, I have a periodic motion of the particles of an elastic body or medium in an alternately opposite directions from the position of equilibrium when that equilibrium has been disturbed, or oscillation, a quivering or trembling motion, vacillation in opinion or action, and also have an act, process, or instance of changing place. Islam.
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 Minister Shanka D. Jabay, rise, giving praises to God Allah, honors to his prophet, honor but honors due. Honors to Act 1. Honors to all the Moors online in this class. Honors to our children, most important honor to our citizens and children. I was just thinking about vibration. Everything moves. It's just appear that it's being still, but it's in its lowest form when it appears that way. I was thinking about the thing that came to my mind was like water moves, then it could be solid ice, then it could be steam, but it's still the one vibration. Islam.
Islam, gratitude,
Islam.
goddess, for that. We have Brother Anwar Aliel with his hand raised.
Islam. Having already risen, vibration. It causes movement in surrounding air molecules. These molecules bump into the molecules closer to them, causing them to vibrate. Movement of molecules.
Islam, gratitude for that measure. For anyone else for the definition of vibration. Okay, Goddess, your next word.
Our next word is motion. Do I have any Moors with their measure for motion? Islam.
Islam. Dr. Musa Bey, praise and honor is already given. I will come from a philosophical definition. Aristotle defined motion, which he means change of any kind, as the actuality of a potentiality as such, or as movable, or as a potentiality. Islam. You have Dr. Anwar Aliel's hand up.
Islam. Motion as a noun, the action or process of moving or of changing place or position. Islam. Motion.
Islam. Do we have anyone else? Okay, we can move on to matter. Do I have any Moors with their measure for matter?
You have Dr. Freeman's hand up and Dr. Aliel's hand up.
Islam.
Dr. Freeman.
Islam and gratitude. Islam. I'm Terrell Freemanell, praise and honors reiterated for matter to form or discharge. Let's see, to form or discharge, and I have subject under consideration, and scrolling down in this source, a source especially of feeling or emotion, and that's all I have to contribute. Islam.
Islam, gratitude for that. We have Dr. Anwar Ali L.
Islam. Matter. Man's limited concept of divine substance that he has formed consciously.
Islam, gratitude for that.
Islam.
My personal definition of what I have is a noun, physical substance in general, as distinct from mind and spirit in physics, that which occupies space and possesses rest, mass, especially as distinct from energy. Second definition is an affair or situation under consideration. A topic. Islam.
Islam. Next, we have energy. Do I have any more with their measure on energy? Islam.
For energy, you have Dr. Ali El.
Energy, Islam, energy. Power forcefully exerted, zeal in motion, and the final one is the forerunner of every effect. Islam.
Islam. Gratitude for that measure. You have
Gratitude.
Dr. Freeman L's hand up.
Islam and gratitude. For energy, I'm Terrell Freeman L. Praise and honors reiterated. The camelback off of the mighty definition from Dr. Anwar Ali L. Definition of energy: dynamic quality, narrative energy, the capacity of acting or being active, intellectual energy, spiritual, usually positive spiritual force, energy flowing through all people, a vigorous exertion of power, a fundamental entity of nature that is transferred between parts of a system in the production of physical change within the system, and usually regarded as the capacity for doing work. And then lastly, usable power. Islam.
Islam. Gratitude for that. We have the goddess, Secretary of State, Sharon Khadijah Bey. Islam.
Islam.
For energy, I'm gonna put our first two words together, which is vibration and motion equals energy. Islam.
Islam. I have a thermodynamic quantity equivalent to the capacity of a physical system to do work. Islam. Next, we have frequency. Do I have any more with their measure on frequency?
Dr. Anwar Ali El.
Islam. Frequency. Frequency is the number of occurrences of a repeating event per unit time. Islam.
Islam. Gratitude for that. The meaning I have is the rate at which something occurs. That pretty much the same thing as the senior counsel general gave. I also have the rate at which a vibration occurs that constitutes a wave, either in a material, as in sound waves, or in an electromagnetic field, as in radio waves and light, usually measured per second. Islam.
Islam. Next, we have program. Do we have any more with their measure on program?
Now, I know Freemanel has a measure on this. Islam, doctor.
Islam, and gratitude. All right, so for program, I had a couple of things here. I'll scroll up. So for program, I have to arrange or furnish a program, or subhanAllah, to arrange or furnish a program of or for, such as a bill. And then there are other perspectives, such as a plan or system under which any action may be taken towards a goal, curriculum prospectus, syllabus, and that is all I'll contribute at this time. Gratitude.
Thank you for that measure, Dr. Freeman, Dr. Anwar Ali, L.
Islam. Programming. Yes, programming. The process or creating a set of instructions that tell a computer how to perform a task. Islam.
Gratitude for all those who are interested in their computers and how things work. There must be a program in place. Islam. Anybody else with a measure?
Islam.
Pardon, so go on, Goddess.
I have to control. Islam.
Islam. Very succinct and to the point. To control. Islam. Dr. Freeman, what say you?
Oh, Islam and gratitude. Pardon self, I'd actually had the incorrect definition down. I looked up the word program instead of programming, and I had a whole bunch of measures from that. But I concur with those mighty measures put forth, and just wanted to contribute the process of instructing or learning by means of an instructional program, the process of preparing an instructional program for a device, or a device such as a computer, or the mind. Islam and gratitude.
Islam. Gratitude for all those measures on the master words of study. When we come to opening up the floor, the question on the floor will be, what changes can you make to raise your vibration? What changes can you make to raise your vibration? And the resources that we're about to come up with in the next few minutes will give a better understanding towards that effort. What changes can you make to raise your vibration? All right, Goddess, did you want to read from the Kabbalion, chapter 9?
Islam. I actually found a book that says the same thing, but in a more understandable way. So it's the same thing. It's just, worded, so my 95-year-old grandmother can know what I'm saying.
This is your sphere. You are Goddess.
Okay, and the book is called Universal Laws. The law of vibration. The law of vibration or frequency. Vibrational energy is the essence of this law. It is the foundation of the better known law of attraction. In the previous chapter on the law of divine oneness, we touched upon vibration and frequency. We also learned that everything is energy. When we look on a subatomic level at any substance, we do not find matter, but rather pure energy. Energy that is constantly vibrating and moving. Nothing rests, including human beings. However, your frequencies and vibrations are different from other beings and things in the universe. This does not mean we are separate. It means we are all unique in our own vibrational patterns, like fingerprints. But we all exist in one ocean of vibrating energy. Everything has its own unique vibrational frequency, like a table, a desk, a chair, a rock, and even our thoughts and feelings. The law of vibration governs it all. Let's use a desk as an example again. It may appear to be solid and still, but remember, it's always moving, vibrating, and constantly changing form. Science has proven this with the invention of the microscope. We can see millions of subatomic particles vibrating and moving with energy, meaning the desk is pure energy and emits its own unique vibrations. So what seems like a separation, solid desk sitting on its own is actually an illusion. It is the law of vibration in action. However, we don't perceive it as vibrational energy until we break it down to subatomic particles and view it with a microscope. This proves that vibrational frequencies exist even if we can't see them with the naked eye. We have to remain open-minded that there are things around us that exist outside of our five senses, meaning that just because we can't verify with our immediate senses doesn't mean it isn't real. A dog whistle, for example, isn't a frequency humans limited hearing can detect. Yet we know it exists because it's been proven that dogs can hear it. Many things were thought fact or impossible to exist until science proved it wrong. The world was once flat, but we'll talk about that another time, until proven differently. We were told our galaxy, the Milky Way, was the only galaxy, but now we know there are billions of other galaxies. If you were to tell someone 100 years ago we could communicate wirelessly, they would have locked you up for being crazy. In the near future, everyone will accept that everything is energy and that everything vibrates and radiates frequency. The law of vibration will be taught in schools just like the law of gravity. This will be our greatest advancement in understanding the world around us. Many inventors throughout history have been accused of being crazy or nuts because it was outside the frame of knowledge at that time. People did not have the capacity to grasp inventions or theories like radio waves, electricity, magnetic fields, and even the internet. The fact is, whether you believe it or not, we live in an ocean of motion. Our thoughts and emotions, no matter what they are, at every second of our lives are sending out vibrational frequencies. We have the power to change our frequencies so we can tune into anything we want in life. You will begin to understand the true benefits of this law as it ties into the next chapter, which we'll do that next week. But this week this is a really powerful class because we are controlling everything. We are in control, but we just so detached from that full understanding. So that's why it seems like, things are the way they are. We have to change the way we are viewing things, and we need to be more mindful of what people say to us before we get offended. We need to get an understanding of what they are saying before, we want to automatically dispute it as being something negative. So at this time, we can play the video. I don't think it matters really which one we play first, but we can just play whichever one you choose. Islam.
Gratitude. Let me take a look at what we have here. First, I'd like to share this copyright law disclaimer. Copyright laws recognize that not all uses of copyrighted works infringe the rights of the copyright owner. Section 107 of the Copyright Act states, and you can read for yourself. For our purposes, we're using it for classroom or educational purposes only. Classroom, educational purposes only. This is entitled How I Raise My Vibration Fast and Get into Alignment with My Manifestation, Law of Attraction. Islam, is everybody can hear it?
Islam.
Vibrational alignment is the most accurate way to create deliberate manifestations in our lives with the law of attraction. And most of us know that in order to be a vibrational match to our manifestations, we must create the feeling state within ourselves first so that we may begin to perceive those things as a reality. Every form of matter vibrates at a certain frequency. And resonance, which is a physics-based concept and is also the equivalent to the way we feel, truly is the secret that allows us to manifest anything we desire. Resonance is the name for what happens when one object, vibrating at the same natural frequency of a second object, forces that second object to start vibrating seemingly spontaneously. It's then that we can perceive that object in our lives. As I've said before, your manifestations are within reach of you literally. If you're not experiencing those things, it's only because you cannot perceive it in your reality, not because it's not there. To perceive it in your reality, you become the object that vibrates in such a way that it forces the manifestation that matches that to show up in your life. Personally, understanding this concept has had a profound effect on how I intentionally create my life. William James, a pioneering American psychologist and philosopher born in the 1840s, created a theory that said if a person behaved as if they were a specific type of person, they would become that person. If you've been studying or using the law of attraction for any time, then you've probably heard that acting as if is a great way to manifest things intentionally. And decades of research has shown that this is accurate and applies to all aspects of our lives. And why is this as if principle so accurate? Because behaving as if we feel an emotion will create that genuine emotion because it produces real physiological changes, which in turn produces real vibrational changes. You may also have heard this before, but it's important to mention that our bodies don't know the difference between the thought of an event happening and an event actually happening. We physiologically process thoughts in the exact same way as we do actual events, and we can use this fact to our advantage to raise our vibration intentionally and match the reality of our choosing. But sometimes we feel far off from those positive feeling states that match our intended manifestations. And making the leap from feeling uncertain or lack or unhappiness to a much higher vibrational emotional state can seem like a daunting task. From an emotional scale point of view, we rarely move from a lower emotional feeling state to what is considered a higher emotional feeling state in an instantaneous way. When I realize that I'm experiencing a lower emotional feeling state and I'm ready to create something new, I know it's time to do a little work on my vibrational meter. This is not to say that it isn't a good idea to sit with some of these emotional states that are considered lower on the scale, process them, and allow them to flow when needed. However, when you're ready to shift out of that to create something new, it can be helpful to have a few tools to do this. So here's a simple process that I use to instantly shift my vibrational state when I'm experiencing emotions that I'm ready to move past. And this process helps me first get centered before I begin working on reaching the higher vibrational states that actually align with the experiences that I really choose to have. And I'll give you another process that you can use in just a moment to follow this one and get into true vibrational alignment with your manifestation. The first thing I do is create 2 columns on a piece of paper. I label the first column, Things I Like the Feeling of Thinking About. The second column is labeled, Things I Like the Feeling of Doing. Then I proceed to write down as many of these things as possible in these 2 columns as they come to mind. I also write out the feeling states that correspond with each of these things. For example, if I were to write down, I like the feeling of thinking about having dinner with my family, I would then list feeling states such as happiness, fun, and love. If I write down, I like the feeling of walking on the beach in the other column, again, I would write feeling states that correspond with that, such as peaceful, centered, and relaxed. So this process helps me to get really in touch with the beginning of shifting my feeling states into a more positive place, because I'm focusing on specific thoughts, experiences, and actions that align with those things that I enjoy, and I begin to create those feelings within me in doing so. I recommend doing this exercise for 10 or 15 minutes or longer if you can keep coming up with things to write down, in order for the second part of the process that I'm about to give you to work effectively in raising your vibration to a state that aligns with what you want to create. So I highly recommend going through this crucial part of the process first, and you'll see why in just a moment. So once you've used this process and you've become centered and you've started to produce a state that's more vibrationally aligned with things you choose to create, you only need a little more creativity to begin really lining up with those things. And that's what the second part of this process that I use will assist you with. So the next thing I do is I really hone in on the thing that I'm creating by discovering a few details about that. Specifically, I ask myself why I want to create a specific experience. The why is very important because it gets me in touch with the feeling state. Each experience that I choose to create in my life is because I can imagine somewhere within me how that experience will feel in having it. In other words, adventure. And if I want to experience those things, it means I'm not necessarily feeling them currently. So I ask myself, how can I create relaxation in my life now so I can align with creating more relaxation in my life for the future? This question leads me back to the list that I previously created. Where on my list did relaxation show up? The list gives me clues as to how I can get back in touch with those feeling states. So I now have the why for the manifestation experience, and most importantly, the how. And then I begin to find ways that duplicate those experiences from the list to create this genuine vibrational state within me. This is the fastest way I've learned to do this, and it works exceptionally well for me. Because we physiologically process thoughts in the exact same way as actual events, using these 2 processes is a great way to produce the feeling states or vibrational alignment that corresponds with the manifestations we choose to create. And when we intentionally create feeling states, we begin to perceive a reality that matches that. When this happens, we produce and reinforce beliefs that we are already experiencing these things. This then creates a dominant vibrational frequency that makes us the perfect match to create more of that. When we change how we think, we change how we feel. When we change how we feel, we change what we perceive and experience. It all starts from within. Emotions are energy in motion. And in the same way you can't tune into a specific radio station without turning the dial on the radio, you can't manifest your desires without shifting your emotional frequency to one that tunes you into the experience of that manifestation. So the most helpful thing you can do where deliberate manifestation is concerned is to align your energy to the highest emotion possible regarding what you are creating. Your vibrational frequency permeates the space around you. And once you get the hang of this skill, you can get into vibrational alignment anytime you choose and manifest anything you want.
Islam. I also wanted to share with anybody that's working and they're not happy at their job, but you in it because that's how you surviving. Take 3 to 10 minutes every day. And imagine yourself doing something that you love to do. And see yourself doing that. And in seeing yourself in that vibration, just imagine a chord coming from your current state to that vibration, that vibrational form of you that you want to manifest. So just things like that, simple things. They're really not that hard. You just have to use your imagination. Just use your imagination and just see yourself where you already want to be. So instead of getting up, going to work mad that you have to go and waking up angry, change your vibration, change your thinking about it. Start off with 3 minutes a day. You don't have to be sitting still. You could do it while you're in the shower, while you're brushing your teeth. You know, you have the time. You just have to make the time for yourself. Because everything is not about the meat suit. And all the things that we have going on inside of our bodies and minds, that is the universe responding to our vibration. It's responding to our vibration with a feeling, feelings, and being unhealthy. So it's not necessarily about what you're eating. It's really your vibration and what are you doing with that? Because just like we got in this mess, we can get out of it. But we have to be willing to go with our higher self in order to do that. We have to begin to shift our intentions, because the law of attraction is working whether you're utilizing it to your advantage or not. It's still going to be. And it doesn't need you to be. It just is. So it's up to you if you want to go with it in a positive way or a negative way. It's really up to us to finally decide, and I say that all the time, to decide, this human experience is and the things that's going on in it is not the most important thing. And if I want to change what's going on in my physical existence, I'm going to have to do the work on my spirit. Because in the Black Laws Dictionary, I believe it is, human is dead. So we have to choose our living existence. That's the universe. Always moving, always in motion. And if we want to get the things we desire from the universe, we have to get in alignment with that. And we're not going to get there, for one, really being ungrateful. Use your gratitude to work for you instead of against you. Yes, you have a job. You ready to come out of that job, right? But it's somebody else that's wishing and praying for a job. So it's like it's levels to everything. And it's nothing wrong with them on their job. Because you don't want it, that don't mean it's not okay for them to want that. So if that's not what you want, or you would rather do something else, then you need to tune your vibration to the universe so that you can bring that into your life, opposed to you going to work every day with a low vibration. And you could really do more to help other people if you would just, think about things in a different way. change your mind, and our circumstances will change. But we have to first understand that we are one with the universe. So in a sense, we are working against ourselves. And those of us that have the knowledge of this, we have a duty to change that. And we can. But again, it's a choice. You can choose to keep going the way you're going, or you can choose to, get the things that you really want, the fulfillment that that you need for yourself. But it's not going to happen if we don't decide to shift to that higher self.
Would you like to play the second video or go straight into questions on the floor?
Do we have time for the video? I believe it's just a short video, about maybe 15 minutes.
Correct. Islam.
The great third hermetic principle, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kabbalion. This principle is a principle that you often see mentioned in the law of attraction and New Age communities, but it is not always explained as it should be. It is often oversimplified. In this video, I'll try to delve a little bit deeper than most others do, and hopefully this will give you some insights on how to use this principle, because it is a very, very useful, very powerful principle. Once you realize how the principle of vibration works, when you realize how it operates, and when you learn how to use it,
you can easily train yourself to listen faster.
Well, you'll become a master manifester. That is certain. So the principle of vibration, it embodies the truth that motion basically is manifested in everything in the universe. Truly, nothing is at rest. Everything, every single thing, from the largest things to the smallest things, are constantly moving, vibrating, and circling. You can see this, for example, again, using the second principle that we talked about in the last video, as above, so below. You can see this in atoms, who are constantly moving, circling around. And then again, you can see it in the moon, circling around the earth, constantly moving, the earth spinning around, circling around the sun, and the sun circling around even larger things. From the smallest to the largest, the principle of vibration holds true, as do all of these principles that we're discussing. Remember, these are all universal principles, meaning that they operate everywhere. There are no exceptions to these principles. Now, again, as above, so below, you can actually see this. Sure, you can probably think that, things like radio waves have vibrations, or gamma waves, or things like that. It's probably easier to comprehend that has vibration, but when you look at a rock, you're probably not thinking that it is vibrating, but it is. On the smallest level, it is vibrating, or it is vibrating so fast that it appears to be still. For example, a physical example that you can easily look at, and that really is mentioned in the book The Kabbalion itself as well, but it really is an example that just really makes you comprehend it a lot easier. For example, when you're on the road, when you're driving in your car, and you look at other vehicles, their wheels appear to be still. They appear to be just sliding across the road, but in truth, of course, the wheels are spinning just extremely fast. They're spinning so fast, they are vibrating so fast, circling so fast, that it appears that they are still, but of course they are not. This is probably the simplest example I can give to make you try and comprehend this principle. Now, you can think, well, that's all good, everything's moving, everything's vibrating. How does that benefit me? Again, the whole purpose of this channel is to explain these laws, have some theory, but then of course delve immediately into the practice. How can this principle benefit us? How can we wield this principle to get what we want, to manifest what we want, to build the life that we desire? So basically, when you look at emotions, emotions are accompanied by certain vibrations. Now, when I was young, I often wondered, why do humans have emotions? What's the purpose of them? It's useless, right? And I especially thought these thoughts, probably going through puberty, being a little depressed here and there. And of course, when you're, not feeling good emotions, where you're feeling depressed or down or angry or sad, you're thinking, why? What's the purpose of me feeling this way? Why do we have emotions? Wouldn't a human or an animal evolve to not have emotions? Wouldn't that be much more useful in nature? Wouldn't that be much more practical from an evolutionary perspective? But when I got taught all of this, when I started to learn these principles, learn these truths, learn how to manifest things, it all started to make sense, because emotions are accompanied by vibrations. And this is not even like a spiritual new age, woohoo stuff. This is actually, scientifically, proven. Your heart functions in different ways. Your breathing, your respiratory system, it all can be seen to be vibrating at different ways depending on what current emotion you have. Now, and you can feel this, right? If you are sad, you just feel down, you feel low. When you feel happy, you feel high, you feel up. And this can of course also be seen in the way your body responds. If you're happy, you probably have your head up high and you're just, skipping around town. But if you're sad or depressed, you're probably hunched over, you don't want to sit straight, all these kind of things. So just the way your body reacts, you can already see how that changes. And we'll actually get, in the last video of this series, we'll actually get into how you can actually sort of like hack your body to force the vibration that you want to have. But so emotional states are associated with vibrations, meaning that if you're happy, you're giving off happy vibrations. Now, this is where the law of attraction comes in, basically. Meaning that if you're feeling happy, if you're sending out these happy vibrations, it means that you'll attract more of the same. So people who are happy tend to become happier or stay happy or stay in that vibration. People who are sad tend to stay sad. People who are depressed tend to stay depressed. It's very hard to change those vibrations for some people. For most people, probably 99% of the population. But for those who are aware that everything vibrates, everything is constantly in motion, it might be easier to shift your perspective, right? Because if something is still, it might be difficult to get it to move, right? But if something's already moving, then it might simply be easier to simply increase that speed or decrease it. But it's a lot harder to bring something that's moving to a complete still, to a complete hold, or to get something that is still to move, right? So this is already probably making it easier for you mentally to comprehend how to switch vibrations, because of course that is what we want. We want to use our own will to change our vibration. Now this might be difficult at first because you might not completely realize what those vibrations feel like. So a small exercise that I would like to hand to you is, over the coming months,
serial procrastination is something that affects 80% of the population. Even high-performing, intelligent individuals suffer.
Just randomly during the day, pick a couple of moments each day where you really pay attention to how you feel, mainly your emotions. how do they feel? Where do you feel them in your body? When you're happy, where do you feel that? Do you feel that in your heart? Do you feel that in your stomach? Do you feel that in your left pinky? Where do you feel it? How does your body respond to these emotions? And where do you feel the vibrations? And can you feel the vibrations? Can you tune into them? Maybe even when you're in that current vibration, maybe exaggerate it a little bit. Even if it's a bad one. Even if you're sad, you feel sad, try to feel more sad. Delve into it. Really feel that emotion. And then, of course, maybe try to not feel sad. But just do that for the coming months. Just knowing and being aware of the vibrations will eventually lead you to being able to change them, influence them. But first you must learn that they exist and feel that they exist, really know it. Because, of course, me saying it and telling you this is all good and well. But, of course, what it comes down to is how are you using it, how are you experiencing it, and how are you feeling it. So that is a small exercise that really helped me in the beginning to just realize and get to know myself better and get to know how I personally respond to these vibrations and feelings and emotions. So that is just a small thing you can already start doing. And of course, again, as I already said, happy people tend to stay happy or become happier. This is where, you've probably heard the saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's simply because the rich, are attuned to a vibration of wealth and abundance. And poor people are attuned to a vibration of scarcity and lack and need. If they were to switch their vibration, then their situation would also change. Right? This is what we discussed in the second video, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, but as below, so above as well. If you change your vibration, you will attract a certain situation, and then, more of that will increase your vibration, and you'll get more of that situation, and more and more and more and more. It's just, do you want to go this in the positive way? Probably, to wealth, success, happiness. Or are you going in the negative way? Are you going down? Are you is your vibration becoming heavier and just getting into that poverty and lack and scarcity mindset? Because, that of course will snowball as well. If you're feeling poor, your vibration will be that of poverty, which will increase and increase and increase. And this is why if you were to, for example, suddenly redistribute all the wealth on the planet, take all the billions away from the billionaires and redistribute it all equally across the planet, it probably wouldn't take 2 or 3 weeks for all that money to get again to the originally wealthy people, because they simply have a vibration of wealth. So I hopefully this is useful. This vibration at the end of the chapter in the Kabbalion, when this principle is discussed, I just like to quickly quote this because it is really true. The first principle, second principle are incredibly powerful and incredibly useful. And of course, all these principles work together to create this harmony that will just make you so much more effective at manifesting whatever you want. But this principle is of course basically what the law of attraction is based on, and of course the second principle as well, and the first as well. But you definitely hear a lot of people talking about vibration in those communities. So hopefully now it makes a bit more sense. Now the quote that I wanted to say is, "He who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power." And this is a quote from one of the old Hermetic masters from ancient Egypt. Now, this is just very true. And I hope that because of this video, you will now be able to grasp your own scepter of power. And with the exercise that I gave, just do it for a couple of months, and you will already learn so much more about yourself. Eventually, because of this exercise, you will learn that when you're angry, you don't need to be angry. You're making yourself angry. You're willingly attuning yourself to a vibration of anger. You don't need to do this. But in order to really change it, because of course I can easily say to someone who's depressed, don't be depressed, but that probably won't change that much, right? So first, really delve into your own vibrations, delve into your own emotions every day. Be aware of what is going on inside you and around you. Really delve into it, feel it, maybe even write it down, how all of these things feel. And be aware of where in your body you feel these vibrations, where you feel these emotions, because that will, in the future, let you to shift basically these emotions around to what you want them to be. Alright, so I hope this video has proven useful to you. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the little bell to be notified of YouTube. YouTube generally isn't that fond of mysticism and all things spooky and woo-woo. So it's very important that you subscribe to the channel if you wish to stay updated. Of course, I also have a Twitter account in case something happens to the channel, because YouTube, you know.
All right. Goddess, what do you say of those videos?
It's really whatever. Well, for myself, I know of that to be true. But it's up to whoever's listening to decide, how much ring true for them. But I know for myself, it has worked many times, getting myself into things I shouldn't be in, and, in things I should. I played a role in all of it. And I understand that. I understand, where I may have been mentally when making decisions that I should not have made. So I accept all responsibility. And in doing that, I see the changes in myself. I see them every single day. I see them, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of me choosing me and choosing to figure me out, because we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Indeed. So whether we are together or not, we are together.
As above is below.
Yeah, we are together. So we can really change some things, but we have to be willing to do so.
Okay.
Islam.
Islam, gratitude for that. Right now, I see your hand, Senior Deputy Counsel General Anwar Ali, and I want to try and get our Counsel General in here. I was having difficulty reaching him earlier. Let's see if we can reach him now. Counsel General Malik.
Islam.
I'm about to read the question on the floor, and I would like for you to give your measure if you'd like.
All right, Islam. First and foremost, I rise and give praise to Almighty God, Allah, the great God of the universe, the Father of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. And I'm going to give honor to our illustrious, our holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. I want to give honor to our theocratic government of Moorish America, and give honor to all of our officials of Moorish America, give honor to all of our children of Moorish America, give honor to all of our people of Moorish America for being indigenous to the planet Earth, everywhere. And indigenous just means being able to live the natural way of life, the natural way of doing things. That's what indigenous means, to keep it simple. I want to give honor where honor is due, give honor to our student minister, Nicole Williams El-Bey, who's definitely beyond a student. That's only because of just protocol. She definitely demonstrates her mastery of her understanding of these sciences. So I want to give her honor for hosting such a beautiful class. And I want to give honor to everyone who opened up this meeting according to law. Praise the law. The purpose of these teachings and going through the principles, these principles, such as the law of vibration, is to learn the science of self and our divine purpose. Yehoshua and Noble Drew Ali was and is our best examples in demonstrating the possibilities of man so that we may be able to comprehend. Because carnal minds cannot really fully comprehend infinite things. They might even hear this video that we be showing, but they need examples of what these sciences is all about. So Allah formed John and the Baptist, the forerunner of the prophet, and formed Noble Drew Ali in the flesh, and even formed us in the flesh, so that we may be examples of the message that we bring. Because people who doubt must see examples of the God that we're speaking about. Because we're talking about the God that lives within them. Because our people have been messed up so much with religion, and they've been taught to go through a middleman, to look outside of themselves, that they miss it. And everything that they need to know is right within themselves. And through understanding these science and principles of law, dealing with ourselves is to assist us back, getting back to Allah with the pure spirit as it was pure when he first made us. He also taught us how to alterate. We're talking about vibration. He taught us how to alterate the human form by raising it to a higher tone, making it become flesh divine, because everything that we need is right there in that seed, and that a special seed. Chapter 1 deals with the law of vibration. This is why he gave us the 12-step ladder. You cannot grow spiritually unless you practice moral principles. You got to put your thinking, your attitude, and your behavior in check. Because a soldier never knows his strength without his foe. So your foe is right there within, right beneath your nose, right there with you. It's not so much a foe without without yourself. And so many of us so accustomed to pointing the finger and looking at other people and blaming other people for our conditions, although it played a part. But the only ones that can change those conditions is us. It's on how we respond to life, things that happen in life itself. So the answers lies within ourselves. The laws that governs the universe lies within ourselves, and we can change our condition at will. We got to change our thought pattern. That's what the friendship between Yehoshua and Lamas was about. And Yehoshua was explaining to him the meaning of truth. That truth is art and art is a law. And Noble Drew Ali spoke the same thing. He spoke the same thing. He said, my words is spirit. He said, my words is spirit, and you Moors better take heed. And what our prophet is saying is that the words that come from his mouth have the ability to save and redeem us. See, I got to bring the prophet in there too, because the whole world have these lessons. Only after the advent of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because they kept these lessons a secret, remember, from the whole world. But then after the advent of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, then they thought it would be wise that they released the lessons. Say, we might as well release them. But if you're a slave, you can't comprehend the lessons unless you have a guide, somebody being an example, because by you experiencing slavery, and the God has talked about the 3/5, you being denationalized, those two things are divine creed and nationality is very important in the process of you unfolding and understanding what the law of vibration is all about. Because if you don't understand those two principles, then when you vibrate, you're going to be carrying out the will of somebody else. Because the mind, and it's in the mind's nature to carry out or to become whatever it believes. And it's a part of the law of vibration. So if you're not specifically guiding these principles in a specific direction, you can be used up like toilet paper. And this is why you got to bring the Prophet Noble Drew Ali into the picture. Because the great God of the universe didn't send him to this earth for no reason at all. These lessons, the guy said, the Europeans said it, that these lessons come from ancient Kemet, that mystery system from whence the majority of the current religions that people practice today have their origin. And Yehoshua, with the sacred teachings, was about transformation. And through him and the Noble Drew Ali and us, who's living or being examples of the message that we bring, we can all do and achieve the same heights as Yehoshua and Noble Drew Ali did. As we, upon law, all we have to do is to follow the way or the path that's set before us. But a lot of us don't want to follow the path. We think we know. And so it's okay to be a follower of the right person. It's okay. I'm not talking about, I know we've been so abused by religion and the misuse of these sciences that we're afraid to follow somebody else. But as a result, if you got people that's being an example of the message that they bring and they catch your attention through the law of attraction, right? Because all of these laws and principles go hand in hand with, laws of correspondence and et cetera, you are attracted to them for a reason. You attracted them for a reason, and you was made and put in this form for a reason. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we have Acts 6 says, the only way we can actually live is we live on our own divine fig tree. That government, that theocratic government operates and vibrates at a high level. At a high level, you can't tell me that the government in which you're trying to live now in the United States is the government that Allah planned for you to live in. No, not when they are planning the war right now, just as we speak. These are prophecies being fulfilled. There will be wars and rumors of wars when these principles of laws of vibration, et cetera, laws of correspondence, et cetera, are violated. So you need a righteous man, a man who fulfilled the law to be an example of what man and woman is to be. And this is why nationality and divine creed come into the play, because it separates you from being a slave. Being in your true state, you vibrate to a higher tone. You got to unfold just like that seed, like that tree, planted in the soil so they unfold and grow. But, I could go on and on and on, and I get excited, when I'm talking about these lessons because, man, I just get excited in talking about these lessons because I am so grateful, like the goddess was speaking about. Gratitude is an attitude. Your attitude controls your altitude. And we're going to go into this in some other classes later, what the importance of having a grateful attitude is needed. It's a must. It's a mindset of being a practitioner. Being a mental practitioner, you are deliberately, specifically applying these lessons in spite of your opposition or your adversities that you face on a day-to-day basis. Because some people just go with the wind. Whatever which way the wind blows, that's which way they go. We're going to go into why people have mood swings. We're going to talk about feelings. Feelings is a part of you being able to manifest the divinity in you. But you got to have clarity. And on a metaphysical level, feelings mean interest. You can't love anything if you don't have any interest in it. So how many of us done try to listen to something that we had no interest in it? It didn't mean nothing to us. And then what we did, we went right back to the path of destruction, or turning our will over to a destructive power instead of a constructive power by misusing the force. But I'm going to just stop right there. I'm going to say praise Allah. And I want to give honor again to everyone who participated and that's on this panel today. And give a shout out to our Vice Consul General for the wonderful works that he has done and still doing, and thanking Allah that he had traveled and made it up there in Canada safe with the goddess. And I know it's a lot of stars and explosions are going on. Boom, boom, boom. I just said that to bring some humor into the picture. But we love you, Mo. We love you, Mo Midas, and we love everyone who is under the sound of our voice. Gratitude, Islam.
Gratitude, Council General, for those words of wisdom and for identifying it and relaying it back to our prophet and why the prophet was brought here, because it's still a universal law. The Creator created all of this. So the prophets are just here to remind you of what the Creator has created and what the laws that are already in place. Before man had to do a thing, the universal law was already in place. So that's gratitude for that. Let's go and quickly get to the question. I have not forgotten you, Dr. Anwar. Question on the floor is, what changes can you make to raise your vibration? What say you, Anwar Aliyah?
Islam. Having already risen, I was listening, and being a student of the science of the mind, I concur. Thought is the cause of it all. And usually what I do is sometimes I have to detach myself from a situation, and I get to what I mean. Detach myself from a situation because I'm using, for lack of a better word, too much energy to fit in, or to maintain a healthy attitude. And this is the reason I just retired off my job. I've been there 17 years. Love to drive a truck, big truck. I love what I was doing. But in the last maybe 2-3 years, the vibration on the job changed drastically. Even though I wanted to get in there in the morning and prayed and meditated and tried to change my attitude. I always come in there with a smile on my face. Good morning, everybody. But that energy in that workforce got real bad, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask. So when it gets to that point, you kind of at an impasse. So every 5 minutes, I'll be praying and trying to neutralize. You know, and I think in Yehoshua's travels, I can't quote it, but I remember him saying something about dusting your sandals off and moving on. You know, just like I came from a a drug-induced lifestyle 20-some years ago, and my vibrations were different. And then when I started into recovery, my vibrations started changing. You know, so those guys that I used to hang around with, I can't hang around them vibrations anymore. You know, so with that said, peace and love.
Islam. Gratitude for that. I believe as a mastermind, I believe you just answered your own question. Because what we do is, you know, we talk about what we love to do, what interests us, where our interests lie, and drive towards that. And if the climate is not what you love any longer, then you're gonna have to move on. You just said earlier in your life when you were in that culture, that drug culture, what it was manifesting, it did not belong to you, didn't feel right for you. So you found a way to come up out of it. And then what was being revealed to you was things that belonged to you all along. You were depriving yourself of it. You know, we have to understand that we are creators. The creator of all has given us attributes because we are one. We are one. Allah is in us. But we have to understand it. We have to understand our divinity and understand that we have those attributes to create each of us our own world, our own universe, and make things happen that whatever we so desire. You know, and that's why it is best that you keep yourself in the higher self and in the higher frequencies, so that you're operating there and making sure to keep those lower self manifestations in check. You know, look down at it, you know it's there, and let it remind you where you never want to be again. Islam, Secretary of State, and I see you, Deputy Counsel General. Islam.
Islam, Minister Shanka Davis Bay already risen. Grand class, a good class as always. Wow, that's outside. As always, our classes on Wednesdays are always intimate. What can I do to raise my vibration? I think that's the question on the floor, right?
What changes can you make to raise your vibration? Islam.
Okay. Yes, as I was listening throughout the class and listening to the video, to me, it's just it starts with me and ends with me. It starts with my thinking and ends with how I think, because it's the prophet says nothing outside of ourselves. If you must find your devil, look within. If you might find your God, look within. So, you know, a lot of these lessons are for us to take in for ourselves. It's not for the next person. Like I'm pointing a finger. So it's not way out there for me, because if my condition is a certain way, it's because this is the way I'm thinking and poor me and this and that. So what can I do about that? Only I can change that. And I was thinking about the job I do now, and it's different energies and different vibrations in that. Can you hear me? In that field line of work. And I have to set the tone before I even enter there. I have to have my mind set before I enter there, because I'm trying to tell you, so even though I know what I signed up for dealing with the youth, half the times it's the staff, it's the adults that, you know, you have to set your, I don't want to say guard, but you have to protect your energy or about. And the unit I'm on, I have real high flyers who kick doors open in AWOL, who self-harm, who, you know, just destroy property. And I got 3 of them that's on the unit, and nobody wants to stay on the unit. So I'm the chosen one to stay. But since the last 2 weeks I've been on that unit with the 3 high flyers, I had no incidents. And if I have to verbally say it out loud in front of them, I would say, this is what I say. I'm powerless over people, places, and things. I only have power over myself. I refuse to let negativity into my space. I push all negative things away and gravitate to all positive energy. And they be looking at me like, is something wrong with it? But I say it out loud. And the way I carry my attitude is like, no means no. I'm not going to cater to the energy. I'm not talking about the physical person. I'm talking about the energy that they give off. I'm not catering to that energy. I back that energy up, the negative energy. So everything that the brother was saying in the video, it's true. Is we give off a certain energy. So if I walk into my space, this atmosphere, I have to walk in there with confidence. I have to walk in there like with the light shining and bright, And when I do walk in, it's almost like when you cut the light on, for ones who gonna be honest, you cut the light on and go in the kitchen, the roaches run, they scatter. That's how I describe the energy. When I walk in, it's like a light is being on and that negativity scatters. That's a lack of a better term I could use. I could just think about the light coming on and the roaches. I could have thought of something else, but that's the first thing that came in my mind. So it's up to me to keep my energy high. It's up to me to vibrate, because if what I don't vibrate, that's a choice I'm making. If I vibrate in a low energy, it's the choice I'm making, because it's like we call it the terrible twos when children do it. But as adults, it's like, I want what I want, what I want. It's called being selfish. It's called, how they used to say it is, I forgot what they said, but anyway, it's a choice I'm making. Like the video, the man in the video said, I don't have to stay in that low vibration. I'm making a choice, thinking I can get what I want. So grand class, as always, all the input was needed, and these classes are awesome. Islam.
Gratitude for that measure and input on how you relay it in your own life. We are that star. We're that 5-pointed star. Head, arm, leg. Stand it up. You stand as a star. You are a star. You are a star. This energy is magnificent, and it's in this physical form. This physical form will at some point, you will be used of this physical form, but the energy is everlasting. And the energy is vibration, is how you want to move. Are you going to be moving at a higher frequency? Are you going to stay here? If you living in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you almost don't have a choice. You really don't have a choice. If you are genuinely living in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as the goddess was saying, how she shared those words with them and spoke them out loud. That's love. Even if you don't quite understand it, I'm throwing this love your way because I'm letting you know that the negativity is unacceptable. The negative energy is unacceptable. Bring your star. Bring your shining light. Islam, Deputy Council Freeman L. We run it, but Islam, brother. Dr. Freeman L.
Islam, and gratitude. Oh man. Islam, I'm Terrell Freeman, the Maryland consulate. Praise and honor is reiterated. I just wanted to say grand class. Is plenty that can be said, but to raise the vibration, applying or allowing one to ask and answer the questions, as the goddess Nicole Williams El-Bey stated in the earlier portion of the class, and then the mighty measures of the Moorish kin. When you use that in combination with the tools of everything that our prophets brought us, you can find extra value in these resources that are all around us, but namely within. It's always coming from within, and there's no room to say anything better than my Moorish kin have. So gratitude for that, and grand class, peace and love.
Peace and love, Islam. Gratitude for that measure. Gratitude for all you contribute. All of this Maryland Council contributes to our society, Islam. The question: what changes can you make to raise your vibration? The goddess Nicole Williams El-Bey said it earlier. One, get to a point of gratitude, in your attitude. Be grateful. That's one. That starts setting you in your right place there. Then move in, in what the interest that you move in what you love, what you genuinely love. And if that is your focus every day, you're moving in that direction, trust me, you will get to where you want to be. It may change your location. I don't know. For the brother Anwar Aliel, it changed where he wound up retiring from a job he had been at a long period of time. Previous to that, he changed from a long time a victim being in the participation of that drug culture, and brought himself out of that. As many of our brothers and sisters have brought themselves out of that waywardness, and myself, I was in a waywardness of being manipulating women and thinking that I was quote player. That was nothing to be proud of. In fact, it took me right back to the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. That's what I was forsaking my sister. So I'm violating right there. So I got to change that. I got to redeem myself and bring myself back into the great deific will of the great God Allah. So gratitude, grand class indeed. Goddess Nicole Williams El-Bey. Is there anything else you would like to say before we close this out?
Islam, I just want to show gratitude for everyone that participated, everyone that's listening. And I really wish we could all just really change our mind about a lot of things. Because what will it hurt to try? Especially if your life is going in a direction that you are not, you don't feel you are in control of. And our ancestors, they did more with less. So a lot of the kicking and screaming that we are doing, we ought to be ashamed. Because really, we have so many opportunities. But it's up to us. Nobody is coming. You are what you're looking for. The person that you are waiting for to come and save you, you are that. You are the only person that can save you.
That's exactly what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. I give you everything it takes to save you. Now save yourself.
Yeah. So it's up to you. What are you going to do? That's the question. And get in the mirror and ask yourself that. And wait for an answer. Because the answer is going to come from you where it should come from anyway.
You're right. Don't ask the question and don't wait for the answer.
Yeah.
Ask the question and then wait for the answer. And then move accordingly.
It will surely come.
Indeed.
And thanks again. And I will see you
Gratitude.
guys in a few weeks. Islam.
Love you, sister. Love you indeed. Peace
Love
and love.
you all as well.
Islam.
Secretary of State, can we just go out with the Holy Covenant of Asiatic Nations, please?
Islam, Mr. Shankar El-Bey already risen. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite you with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relations that bind of you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all and your love to each other. Islam, grand class.
Islam, gratitude.
Islam.
Islam.
Peace and love,
peace
everybody.
And love. Peace and love to you all. I love you more.
Islam, grand class. Peace and love.
Long live North America.
Long live more
Long live more Americans. Indeed. Indeed. Peace and love. Everybody, be safe. Ashby Bay, safe travels home. Peace and love, She Bay.